Ladies and gentlemen, dear metalheads and true supporters of the Christian underground, welcome to the Unvergänglich Underground Studio. My name is Raphanus and you are watching UUTV. Today we are honored to have Karl from PANTOKRATOR as our guest on UUTV. To get you in the mood, here is a short intro. PANTOKRATOR was featured in the current issue of Extreme Brutal Death magazine. So today they are also guests on UUTV. Many of you know PANTOKRATOR. Today we have the opportunity to look a little deeper behind the concept of PANTOKRATOR. Dear Karl, thank you very much for your time and welcome to UUTV.
Yeah, I'm honored.
Yeah. Okay, just let us start. In an interview, you said that the history and founding of PANTOKRATOR can be traced back to a band that was supposed to play in a church community. Tell us more about that story. That was some time ago, around 1996, right?
1996. The first show was on December 13, 1996.
Okay.
So we started a few weeks before that, and there was like a rock or pop band or something that was supposed to go up and play, from further south up to this place, and then there was a band in the local church that were the opening act for this pop rock band. So like 5 weeks before the show, two of the members, I think, in the opening act left the band due to, what do you call it, artistic differences.
Oh, I see.
You know?
I see.
So as two of the guys in the band were like metalheads, and then an older guy, he's young by my measures now, but he was older then. He was like 27 and we were like 2019. And the youngest was 15 in the band. So, well, he was more into like classical hard rock, and then these two guys were more into metal, and those two who fled the band, I guess, was into softer stuff.
Okay.
They think it turned too heavy or something. So then me and Matthias were asked if we wanted to join the band, and we were like, okay, you know. So, and I'm not a singer at all, so it turned to growl pretty fast, and it also took a heavier turn, I think, pretty fast after we joined the band. So the first gig was like I think maybe 2 or 3 own songs, and the rest was covers by Mortification and Tourniquet, stuff like that.
Okay, the real stuff.
So that's how it started, and then we kept going, and after a few months with those guys, me and Matthias were kind of kicked out of the band, but we were the ones who kept going with the band. So we were kicked from the band, but we took the band.
I see.
So then we got Rikke and Jonas, and then we were 4 people for several years before we got a a second guitarist.
Okay.
So we have not lost members since late '97, but we have gained one in 2003.
Ah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's very seldom that the band members stay together over a long time.
Yeah. I think it's a question of priorities. Like everyone in the band had like the same kind of level.
Yeah.
You know, no rock and roll dreams. We just wanted to do a gig now and then and write music and record stuff. And like none of us are into months on the road and stuff like that. I think you know, maybe someone in the band wants to live on music and the others are content with having a normal job and you know, gig on weekends. And I think we have kind of the same level, everyone. And also there's always been someone who had a harder time getting out on the road because of, you know, marriage, children, all that stuff. And not all at the same time. It's like it started with me and then Rikke and then, you know.
I see.
So we have always had someone who couldn't go out on the road very long. So and everyone has been, you know, forced to adapt to that. So
Of course,
like adapt and survive.
Of course.
So we are like the turtle in the fairy tale, the turtle and the fox.
Yeah.
We're like the turtle, you know, that just goes on steady but never gives up.
Some people think that there is a contradiction between being a metalhead and a churchgoer. For me, for example, I still have the typical Sunday clothes that I like to wear. I think good dressing on Sunday shows respect for God. It's my opinion. On the other hand, the clothes I wear during the week look like a little more metal. Of course, this is always a personal decision. And it seems okay to me to do it that way. So on Sunday, there seems to be a visual contradiction between the metalhead Raphanus and the churchgoer Raphanus. But either way, I have a prayer in my heart, or try to. It's what do you think about this contradiction? Because maybe out there are some people, they say, it's not possible to be a good Christian.
I don't see a contradiction there at all. I you know, there was a lot of talk about it when we were like teenagers. There was a lot of controversy around it, and now it just seems so. Now I can't even understand the arguments against it. You know, it's so. But yeah, I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a contradiction at all.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So, and I mean, look at the art of metal. The art, I mean, the cover art and stuff like that. They borrowed from church before we borrowed from them, right?
Absolutely, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, have you seen like the Mayhem, Mysterious Doom Satanas?
Yeah. Yes, but this is a good idea. They borrowed it from the Bible and from the church.
Look at the art. I mean, even their concept of the devil.
Absolutely.
They took from Christianity.
Absolutely, it's.
I mean, it's not the Hindu devil, it's not the Muslim devil, it's not the Jewish devil, it's a Christian devil.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like a contradiction. The Christian, but I mean, the view of the devil that they.
Yes.
That is an important part of black metal music. It's all from Christianity. It's like
Mm-hmm.
so.
Yeah,
If people think we stole from them, they stole from us first.
we live in exciting times.
Yeah.
Do Christians have a social responsibility in these times? Because when I listen to We the People, which is my favorite song on marching out of Babylon,
Yeah.
also hear a bit of social criticism. But let's have a look first on the video. Yes, good song. How did it come about and what is its background?
I don't actually remember exactly how it came about. But I think I wrote those lyrics in 1919. No, 2019. Sorry, 2019. And so yeah, I think we have a social responsibility. That's my short answer. You have to. I think it's important
in
that
your opinion.
My opinion is that we should not keep our hands out of that. We live in the world, and if we lay down our responsibility, someone else gonna pick it up, and that's not gonna be it's not gonna be good, man. So it's yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I think it's very important that we try to get the kind of world that we want to live in. I mean, for example, do you know about the start of Pennsylvania?
Oh, tell me about it.
Now, it was a guy called William Penn, and he was a Quaker.
Okay.
So he was kicked out of England because he wouldn't swear oaths and he wouldn't take off his hat for any man.
Yeah.
And he didn't really fit into society, and he started the colony over there with a lot of Quakers, and they are very peaceful. So they had like a peaceful anarchy for a few years, because I mean, hey, everyone here wants to do the right thing, so we don't need laws, you know. But then other people started to move in, like you know, trappers and you know, whatever they have over there.
Yeah.
And they brought some you know, bad behaviors with them. So
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, okay, maybe we need some kind of, you know, police force or whatever, you know, to keep the peace. But then they thought, no, Christians shouldn't do that. So they outsourced their government to the pagans, or at least to the non-Quakers.
Yeah, I see.
That doesn't seem to be a good idea. Let's give all the guns to someone who don't have a moral compass, because I'm too fancy to handle it. It's not a good idea.
Okay, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Because if we lay our let's say our weapons down, someone else gonna pick them up, you know. And no, it's not recommended. I think it's a mistake that Christians are doing when they read the Bible and, you know, you will be hated for my sake, it says.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, they read that like you should be hated. He didn't say that. He said you will be hated. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's not good,
Ah, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And if you look at how, I mean, if you look at Paul, the guy who talks about yielding to the worldly powers and all that,
Mm-hmm.
still he holds the government responsible at all times. You know, can you do this to a Roman? You know, you remember what those when they are about to whip him,
Yeah.
and he hadn't had a trial, so he just turns around to the guy and say, "Can you really beat a Roman citizen without a trial?"
Mm-hmm.
And they get very scared. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, that citizenship cost me a lot of money. I was born with it, he answers.
Yeah.
And then he gets an escort with 200 soldiers to the next
Mm-hmm.
city,
Mm-hmm.
because so that his enemies cannot get hold of him. And I don't think he valued Rome very much, but his attitude is, these are your rules, you better follow them,
Yeah.
right?
Okay,
He
that's a good
he
point.
he didn't give himself the rights of a Roman citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Rome gave that to him.
Yeah, good
So
point.
Rome has to live up to to its uh, to its own standards.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you accept uh, like police or whatever to treat you badly because you're a Christian, you also accept them doing that to other people, right? Because they don't see the difference.
Yeah.
And like China, for example. I mean, they oppress the Christians, but they also oppress the Falun Gong guys, and they oppress the Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
If Christians just bow their heads and say that's okay, it's also okay to do it to those other guys who's not in line.
Mm-hmm.
So I
I
think
understand your
that's
point.
an
Yeah.
important
Mm-hmm.
part of my views there. That if I mean, it's not it's not us demanding things. It's we have a society that came up with certain rules and rights,
Mm-hmm.
and we hold them accountable.
Yeah, I see.
We are no exception. We are citizens, and we
Mm-hmm.
should be treated like that. So, and if we don't stand up for ourselves, I don't think anyone else will.
Does
The,
the Christian underground have some kind of missionary function in a Christian sense? Because I remember my first metal album. A biker and neighbor got off his motorcycle and gave me a home recorded Golden Deep Purple cassette. And I was so excited as a little boy when I heard Smoke on the Water for the first time. Then my taste in
yeah,
music became more and more extreme through death metal, and I landed on black metal very early. I loved this music. And at the same time, I became more and more interested in the occult. And my
yeah,
taste in music fueled this interest. And
yeah.
I don't want to use the cliche and say that music is to blame for this development, but I say that if I had gotten to know the Christian extreme scene earlier, things might have turned out differently in my life. So,
Yeah, because the art and the everything around is an important part of music.
mhm.
So it's it inspires and it draws in, and I understand that if you're young and you like get mayhem is your first love, you probably gonna get
Oh,
more interested in that, right? I had a weird to first your question about the mission. Yeah, I think we do. I
mhm.
think we have an important missionary function, but
Because
it's not. I mean, for some bands, some bands are evangelists. If you see the band as a person, you know, some bands are evangelists and some are teachers maybe, and some are, you know, helpers. Not every band has that missionary
I see.
edge, you know. Some bands have, some have not. I think we are not reaching out in that way. We proclaim the faith on stage and we do our thing and we never hide anything, but we don't, like, we're not like an evangelist band like that. It's more just like, this is what we do, and if you like it, good.
It's
And if you don't, you know,
it's good that there is the offer, that if somebody is interested in it, that there is the chance to get
yeah. But I mean, some
also for
bands,
this
like,
kind of music.
For example, Christian in Narnia, he's the evangelist type. I've been on their gigs, you know. He has that, and it comes natural to him.
Yeah.
And that is what's needed, is that it has to be real, you know.
Absolutely, yeah, right.
For some people, it's very natural to stand on stage and like witness. It's not really my thing. I proclaim, you know. I wave the banner of the Lamb, and I do my thing, but I'm not the type that takes the microphone and start my witness, you know.
I see.
It's more in the songs and a little between, but it's not. But I think the scene as a whole has a very, very important missionary function.
Yeah, I agree.
I just read. Do you know? You know, of course, about the Metal Bible,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who started it, he wrote a biography recently.
Okay.
It was released. It's just in Swedish though, so it's. But I just read it, and it's very inspiring. You know.
Okay.
How that is a part of the. I mean, he's not in the band, but he's still a part of the stage. You know.
I see.
And they do an incredible amount of outreach. A lot of missionary work. So I think they have this. They sell the records, and they pray for anyone who wants to be prayed for, and they have their Bibles by the CDs, and it's just a little note saying, "Take a Bible if you like." So they don't go, you know, hand them out. So people have to come and get them, and still they have now, I think, handed out, or, you know, people have taken 120,000 Bibles so far.
Oh,
and I
great.
think half of them is split between Sweden Rock and Wacken.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's I think the stage has a missionary function. Both the musicians and the fans, you know. And those who have a heart burning for it.
Right.
So how come you tell me about your journey in the occult?
Yes.
You said you were interested in how did that turn around? And
I had a very personal experience that brought me back to Jesus and to the church. That showed me that I am on the wrong path, and so I found my way back. And yes, it was very strong, a very good, and a very interesting experience. And so I'm very grateful that I had this opportunity to come back to Jesus, and now I'm here.
So my brother-in-law, when he was like a teenager, my wife told me, he's a metalhead.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Christian family, and he got, by some reason, he got a mortification album.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I don't know if he tried to find something Christian out of respect for his mom, or I don't know how that came to be, but he had that, and his mother was like, nothing Christian sounds like this,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then he was like, well, never mind, and then he went back to just the secular metal. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's hard to know what I don't know if you would be a believer today if that hasn't happened, but you never know.
Absolutely, yeah, right.
So I mean, since they thought that was as bad as the other stuff, he could just listen to the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. You never know what would have happened.
I think it's important that this message can be brought to the people through this channel, through this music. I think it's very important because of my own experience.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good that it is
Yeah.
here. And it's good that there are a lot of good bands playing good music, rough music, extreme music, but with different lyrics.
I talked to a guy. He's like 2 meters tall, 15 years old, from
Mhm.
Latvia, and I
Mhm.
met
Okay.
him. I've been talking a little on Discord with him,
Mhm.
and then I met him. I joined Crimson Moonlight
Yeah,
up to
okay.
Nordic
Yeah.
Fest.
Yeah.
I was just a hang around, selling their t-shirts and stuff. And I met this guy there because he also came to the festival, and he told me he has never met another Christian person
Mhm.
before
Okay.
in Latvia. So,
Mhm.
but but he himself became a Christian through Christian black metal somehow.
Great.
He found the Christian black metal and went down the rabbit hole with that. So
Mhm. Yeah, good story.
yeah. But I
Um,
mean, that's extreme when you never, I mean, Sweden is pretty secular, but I've met Christian people. He hadn't,
mhm.
I mean, I meet Christian people pretty often, but
Yeah.
he said he never met another Christian in Latvia.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, should never underestimate the power of the message.
Okay, let's get back
Yeah,
to you and
yeah,
Pantokrator. How would
yeah.
you characterize Pantokrator's music? The whole thing seems like there is a deep concept behind it, and someone has thought about how it all fits together. It's my impression.
Are you talking about the music now, or are you talking about the lyrical parts or the aesthetics? What
Um,
when you
I think
say that?
I think the music and the lyrics um, fit very well together. And I'm
Yeah,
wondering,
yeah, I think
where
so
does
too.
the inspiration for the music come from? How can fans imagine such a creation process for an album?
Yeah,
What happens inside the people who
I,
are
I
making it?
I feared this question because I'm not involved very much in the music at all. I just do the lyrics. But I asked our drummer earlier today these questions,
Yeah, okay.
uh, because he is kind of the motor, the
Mm-hmm.
engine of music in the band for the last years at least. It has been mostly him writing music, and others have put their touch on it, but he
Mm-hmm.
he made the foundations. And he says that, well, when it comes to inspiration, it's from like a lot of other bands, and it's not just metal bands. And I think everyone in the band are inspired from different angles, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And those spices together makes the mix, I think. but it's not just metal. It's like a lot of other music too that inspires. But so it's one thing coming in and another thing coming out, you know.
Okay.
But
Does this mean?
I asked him about the process, and he was like, "Yeah, usually get a feeling for what I want to do or what I want to create, and then I sit down with the guitar and just jam." He said to a nice beat,
Mhm.
and until it until until it hits the spot. So that's
Does
how
it
he does
mean?
it.
Does this mean that fans can expect more releases? What do we have in the pipeline?
Yeah, for the time being, there's one song that is like almost finished.
Okay.
That's it. So yeah, we have not given up on that. And also we want to give we would like to see our older material that came before the vinyl wave get onto real records, you know.
Oh, great,
I
great.
mean, we the first one we got on vinyl was Incarnate,
Mm-hmm.
and before that it was just CDs, and so we would like to get older stuff out,
Okay.
and we will also keep recording. But I don't. There's a lot of years between every album we do, and uh, and we've talked for years about that maybe we should do more singles, EPs, and such.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we're there now, but we talked about it before Incarnate as well. And we made an album anyway, and it took like 7 years. And then we did it again on Marching, but it
Mm-hmm.
would probably be better to release smaller releases and more often.
You're also working on another project, Melech. What
Yeah,
can be said about it? It is obvious that a lot happens in Swedish, and that the
yeah.
Christian aspects come to mind more quickly. It's
Oh yeah.
an
It's
interesting
it's
concept.
it's it's pure praise metal.
What is the driving force behind it? I know
It was
because I can
This is
imagine
what
what the
happened
idea is behind it, but what's the
behind Melech. It started with me and the drummer were kind of restless. I think we didn't think things happened fast enough
Okay,
in
okay, I see.
the mothership, and we just wanted to do stuff. And
Yeah,
so it started with us recording Pantokrator songs that didn't make it to the albums.
okay.
So the first one was taken away from the first one was Mästarens väg, the path of the master,
Mm-hmm.
and it was actually intended for Incarnate, but then it didn't. Well, they started writing new stuff and wanted to do that, you know,
Okay.
and there's a limited space, especially when you're gonna do a vinyl.
So
So it started with us recording one of those songs, and then we just kept going, you know,
what about new
because I
releases
mean,
here?
we record new. It's gonna be a new album at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be uh, most of it is released already in like single versions. Like
Yeah. Okay.
we usually release a song at Easter
Okay. Good.
and just go right straight out on Bandcamp, and you know, and we're gonna re-record some of those songs, and also there has been written some new stuff since. So it's gonna be a mix of stuff that you may have heard if you found it on Bandcamp, it's like singles, like Helig, for example. It's or Heilig. Heilig. That's one of the songs that's intended to go on the next album.
Great.
It's more playful, when with Melech we just everything is faster. The process is faster. It's probably because we just like 3 people in it, and so it's his wife is doing the female vocals, and me doing the growly vocals, and is doing the other vocals, and he's doing the rest. So all of the instruments. So and that makes it easy to work with and a lot of fun. It's a special thing with a band where you can play live on stage, but it's also a lot of work with all the calendars. Everyone, no, I can't. No, I'm booked that date, and oh, this is my anniversary, or the kid is having his birthday.
Yeah, I see.
It's more schedules to consider when you're 5 people.
Absolutely, of course.
So Melech started as a kind of an outlet for inspiration, like a vent, like to blow off steam, but it was very fun, and it has a special feeling, so we just like doing it. It's more improvising, and stuff like that, especially with the vocals. Often there's hardly lyrics written before it's like half-baked ideas, and then I just go, and then we edit and change a little afterwards, but it's more in the spur of the moment.
I see.
With Melech.
I see.
So it's fun to work in different ways.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. I think we will run into each other more often in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. And I must say, I'm very happy about you making the Extreme Brutal Death album, magazine in English, because it's always fun to get those Portuguese papers, but you don't understand. I don't understand anything. It's just I like to look at all the logos. But I have a bunch of them, but it's nice to be able to actually read it. And also you get kind of worried that things gonna get lost in translation. But since the interviews are done in English, you have the original source in a way that they don't have. I mean, they have to translate it back to Portuguese. And since we can't read it maybe it's all a lot of misunderstanding and weird stuff. You don't know that. I mean, we don't know that. But when you work with the English, since they do most of the interviews in English, you get right to the source, and nothing can go wrong.
Yeah, right? I see. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I guess you don't translate it back from Portuguese to English again. You go with you go with the original. That's good. So okay. That's good. That's nice.
May the Lord bless you. Thank you very much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, Karl from PANTOKRATOR. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. God bless you and keep you.
Okay, folks, we are done for today. Keep in mind, the real metalhead owns his music and is not dependent on his streaming platform. In the comments you will find a link to the PANTOKRATOR article in Extreme Brutal Death magazine. You will also find a way to support our work. Please also subscribe to our channel. My name is Raphanus and you are watching UUTV by Unvergänglich Underground. Stay tuned, see you soon, and may the Lord bless you.
It is the most